Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of RAERAEs Review, where I will be discussing Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 14, Episode 12. Did you like it? Did you watch it? It was pretty good. You know, this lady's been giving us true tea. You know, we didn't talk about Sutton's mama last couple of weeks. Poor mama. You know, we don't mean no harm, lady. You know, folks just be talking. We didn't, you know, I mean, you know, now we back with Dorit and Cobb, child. They had a little something this episode. You know, Sutton and Dorit still going at it. Sutton can't let nothing go. You know, can't find a joke because apparently it wasn't funny with Sutton. We don't get into it, you know. Sutton a little sensitive. Folks don't understand what happened down there in Augusta. Bo's just trying to be civil and whatnot, and they taking Bo's for, you know, Dorit spokesperson. I mean, it's a lot of innuendo without them knowing the full story. That's pretty much everybody. But for the most part, Bowles wasn't wrong, but let's just get into it, right? Sutton. So we're finishing up Sutton's Augusta trip. You know, saying bye to her mom. They're just, you know, catching up on the tail end of the trip, asking Sutton how was the talk, and you know how, girl, how was it? How'd your mom react? You know, did you talk about this? Did you say this? And then mom kind of walked in at the end, and Garcellle and Kyle like, ooh, we caught. But you know how it is. You know, girls don't talk, girls don't gossip, and her mom was pretty cool. Like I said last episode, I hate the way production spins it so that we think, you know, she's so hard nosed and hard ass, but she wasn't. But you know, we had our perceptions. Again, people 80 something years old. 9.99999 times out of 10, they're going to be what we think they is. However, comma, we're glad that she was a lot more understanding than what the perception was in the beginning. So with all that being said, big ups to Sutton and her mama. Miss Reba is going to be visiting Callie. You know, even though, you know, she is hard-nosed, she said that's how she was raised. You know, you had to pretty much defend yourself, and her mama was like that. You know how folks do. My mama did this, so I'm gonna do this with mine, or my great grand. You know, family traditions, and it's surprising that she is a working therapist. You would think that she would be a lot less hard nosed and more worldly in that way. But you know, when you have somewhat of a, I don't want to say trauma, childhood trauma, but you know, we just carry things on from our ancestors, and that's one of those things that she is not budging on. But she did give Sutton what she needed, and that's a good mother. When you give your children what they need, they may not like it, they may not even like the delivery, but they find out that the message is what they need. So good, big ups to Reba and Sutton. So now we back in Beverly Hills. Everybody back. Bozoma's getting visited by her good friend of the family, Tina. And she's just filling Tina in on her and Keely's decision to, you know, start a family. And then she kind of gives us some, what do you call it? background into her loss. When she was married, she had a scary situation, surprise pregnancy. About 52% in, she started to develop preeclampsia. That's when you have out of control blood pressure due to the pregnancy, and it's managed by medication, rest, and other forms of treatment that I am not too familiar with, but I do know that what I'm speaking of at the moment. And unfortunately, there was a fetal demise, and the baby girl's name was Eve. Rest in peace, Eve. And I don't know how long after that she got pregnant again and has her daughter now, who is about 15, 16 years old. And we all know she lost her husband when her current daughter was about 3. So it's been maybe 12, 13, maybe 14 years since her husband lost his life. And so, she's nervous. She said every day that she was pregnant with her daughter now, she was a nervous wreck. And being nervous isn't good when you're pregnant. So, but you can't help it when you go 50 something, 52% all the way of your previous pregnancy and you have that horrific ordeal. No one wants to, worry about anything during their pregnancy. That's supposed to be the best time of your life as a woman, bringing forth life. Wow, it's such a beautiful thing that we can do that. Oh, I experienced it once. I wish I could have experienced it again, but man. So yeah, but the thing is now Bozoma has to worry about her age, any complications, because it happened before, it could happen again. There's two. For me, I don't think she should. I think they should find a surrogate and or adopt. He wants 1 to 3 children, and I understand she wants to give him a baby, but girl, maybe both of y'all's egg and sperm can be implanted. I'm just saying. I mean, it's one thing to have all of the risks and incentives to do it, but we really need to think about the outcome. Will that baby be okay? Will that baby have to go through things after birth? Will that baby, survive? It's just a whole lot that I really would like women to think about the baby first before them. Of course, we're the women are the ones bringing forth the child. And of course, if anything was to happen, you save the mom. And unfortunately, just, you always want to save the mom. But when there's a chance that the baby lives, you really want to make sure that baby has the best quality of life under the circumstances. And I wouldn't want to risk that for my baby, risking their quality of life because I want a baby when there's other routes, more safer routes to do so. That's just something I always think about. But big ups to Bozoma and Keely and her daughter. What's her daughter's name? Let me see if I wrote it down. Lilia? Something like that, child. Anyway, next we got the ladies getting ready for Dorit's July 4th barbecue. Sutton is, nervous because, her and Dorit don't really get along. And she's just, I think she's setting herself up for failure. But at the same time, she's trying to just think positive thoughts. But she keeps saying negative stuff about it. So I think that may have played a part in what I'm about to talk about, y'all. And then we have Erica talking with Kyle, letting Kyle know that I guess you're the ice queen now. Ha ha ha. And Kyle was like, oh yeah, because of what Bo said about Kyle kind of, being a little icy towards her. Erica didn't really mean to, make it like she's being messy, maybe 10% messy, but just making a joke. Like, here we go. So we're gonna talk about that later. What else happened, child? Now we are at the party, and before everybody gets there, Dorit talks about PK being absent. There's supposed to be an annual party. Of course, her children are enjoying all of the water sports that's set up in the backyard. Friends, family is there. Her mom is greeting folks, and whoo, friends are there, and PK not. So then Sutton arrives first. No one greets her. And of course, she's, etiquette in Beverly Hills that you are greeted by somebody. She mentions a butler, a house manager, somebody. Why? And then Sutton leaves the door wide open, letting all the flies in and carrying on. Wait a doggone minute now. You could at least close the door. I mean. And then Kyle arrives and then immediately points out all the family pics, but she calls it a shrine to PK. Girl, are you projecting because of what's going on at your house? And then Dorit comes down and meets them both and points out to Dorit, what's up with this shrine in the front? What's going on? They was like, oh, I don't even look at that because I come in through the garage, so I don't even really know what's going on over there. So then Kyle takes the point to rearrange the pictures. Why don't you go rearrange your pictures? How about that? Kyle, go sweep in front of your own front door. Does Kyle know that saying? Is that an old wives' tale? Is that an old Negro spiritual? I mean, I know I've heard it a lot growing up. I don't know. But I'm just, Kyle, sweep in front of your front door. Child, anywho. And then so Dorit sees Sutton's purse and grabs it and said, thank you. And Dorit was like, I didn't give you my purse. And so they have this cute back and forth that they used to do, apparently, that they would joke because Dorit loves Sutton's purses. And so Dorit said, I think you owe me this purse, meaning for all the, heartache and pain that Sutton has been causing her. And Sutton was like, I don't think so. Can I have my purse back? I don't know who designed that purse, but I'm not into tiny purses. I like, a cute little bag, I think the smallest I have is a 6x9. I'm just saying, no, I do have a tiny purse that I never wear, child. You know what? I can look. I'm going to the Beyonce concert. I'm gonna need a little purse. So, anywho, yeah, I have one little purse, and it's cute. It's real cute. Go with a couple of outfits. But anywho, then Dorit and Sutton are going back and forth about the purse. So Dorit finally gives her purse back, child. Then Garcellle comes in and trips. Girl almost fall on her face. I said, ooh, Garcellle, I think they tripped you. Then I see all the decor and it's 13 colonies flags. I'm like, what the hell is going on with this decor? 13 colonies. So then everybody's sitting down, everybody got a drink and carrying on. Then Dorit jokes with Garcellle about Sutton. Did you say that Sutton? No, who she asked? I forget, but she said, did someone ask Sutton if she had vodka in her drink? And then that prompted Sutton to take offense because of the alcoholic insinuations. What, 2 seasons ago? Was it 2 seasons ago? Child. Oh, wait. Erica comes in. That's right. Erica comes in, child. So anyway, Dorit pretty much, let me say this. Sutton calls Dorit what time is it? Okay, Sutton calls Dorit a bitch because she didn't like it. Like I said, she got triggered because of the alcoholic thing. She thought it was done and over. And Dorit was like, I really wouldn't like you to call me a bitch in my own home. And then she said it again so that Sutton could apologize. But Sutton was like, I don't appreciate all of that, Dorit. I thought we were past that. Well, as Sutton gets up and leaves, Dorit calls her a bitch. And baby. Baby. So then Kyle and Garcellle goes after Sutton. They meet her at the front door trying to convince her to stay and everything. But then Erica comes in, she's like, hey, y'all, dang, what's going on? Before Erica could really cross the threshold good into the vestibule of Dorit's home in front of the shrine of PK, she sit down with them like, what's going on? What you mean you're leaving? What happened? So they tell Erica what happened. She's like, oh. Again, Erica ain't trying to get into nothing. It's pretty much Erica's trying to be the peacemaker, or she been it and she ain't in it. And then Bozoma arrives, and then Sutton gets up and walks away like she didn't want to greet Bozoma. I'm like, what's going on, Sutton? Why you walk around? She went to the almost to the hallway just so she would greet. Now Bozoma came about 3 or 4 ladies with her, right? Everybody else came by themselves. Okay, I guess Bozoma cleared them. Anywho, I'm like, why is Sutton run the other way? So Garcellle and Kyle just trying to help, and Erica. So they're all sitting down, just trying to convince Sutton to stay. And Bozoma over there she gets greeted and she's talking with Erica and them, and she's like, well, why are they over there? I feel like I should go over there and be a part of the conversation. So they were like, well, she want to leave because, we had a disagreement outside. She's like, well, let me go over there and bring them girls back in. So Bozoma's whole point was, why are y'all coddling Sutton? If she wants to leave. There's a party going on. So Bozoma was trying to, everybody come on in. Come on. So she's not being a spokesperson. She's just being a friend to the host. We would, of course, certain etiquette going on in Beverly Hills, and this ain't, proper and everything. So again, it ain't rich proper, y'all. So Bozoma is again just trying to bring people back into the party. Garcellle yells for Bozoma to not be Dorit's spokesperson. I'm like, wait a doggone minute. Who you yelling at, first of all? And then I saw a little bit of the after show. Garcellle kind of realized in that moment that was the wrong thing to say and how she said it. But she was too caught up in the moment to correct herself then. But she just kept going with it. And, Sutton is sensitive about the alcoholic comments from the year before. But see, Dorit didn't start it. That's how Dorit feels. She didn't start it, but then again, you bring it up. So, you're just reliving the moment that she really didn't appreciate and like. And then production kind of shows us who started, who was Kyle. So after that, that shade production gave Kyle, child, Sutton in her confessional said she is sorry all of Dorit's businesses have failed. And she's sorry that Dorit's divorce can't be as clean like hers. Oh, Sutton. Ooh, that's that Southern nasty work. Ooh, Sutton. Well, I guess. We know we're going to hear about that at the reunion. Woo, child. Ooh, Sutton, that was nasty work. Next, we got Bozoma, reminds them of sisterhood and just is trying to get them to, come together. Ride now. But Garcellle disagrees and, feels like it's one-sided with Bozoma. Like Bozoma can't see all the sides, like I mentioned earlier. Sometimes everyone doesn't have all of the information, so it may appear as though they're, only for one side of the argument, but people need to realize what's good for the moment is usually what Bozoma is suggesting. I think that Bozoma is definitely not biased, and just like how she mentioned in the after show with Sutton, with Dorit, talking about everything, and that Bozoma doesn't get the deets before the situation. The way that they described it was just usually Bozoma lends her opinion about it, and it's usually the right opinion, and it coincides with how Dorit feels about it. And then Dorit feels validated that someone else shares her sentiments about the situation. And I can understand that. For some, like me, I'm usually right about things. Not everything, of course. I'm not, I don't proclaim to be, but I'm usually right about a lot of things. And, sometimes people see it a different way, but it is what it is. Anyway, what else up, child? Then in the midst of all of that, Garcellle brings up to Bozoma how she doesn't feel Kyle is welcoming to Bozoma. And I'm like, why the hell would Garcellle bring that in the conversation when we're talking about Dorit and Sutton? And how they shouldn't coddle Sutton in the moment when we're trying to have a party. If Sutton want to go, go. How does I don't know why Garcellle brought that into the conversation. I mean, I don't know if she's trying to deflect off of Sutton, but like they say, Bozoma can be Dorit's spokesperson. Garcellle has been accused of being Sutton's spokesperson, and it sounds like Garcellle is trying to do that job at the moment by deflecting. Why can't we keep it on one conversation? Anywho, all the while, Erica's eating her hot dog and drinking her drink. Like she said, her name was Bennett. Erica, Bennett, Jane. Ooh, child. So anyway, so after Garcellle brings up Bozoma's feelings about Kyle not being welcoming to her, Kyle felt like Boz was singling her out due to her close relationship with Dorit. And Bo's like, absolutely not. I'm not a follower. See, that's what I'm saying. You have Boz is coming in. She may have watched the show, but she's coming in with a whole new approach, a different approach, a more mature approach, because her job all these 20 plus years just about has been putting out fires, making grand decisions, making great decisions, due to her previous employers, putting out fires. So, for the most part, Boz has a good ticker in her brain, her frontal lobe. Her decision-making skills are impeccable. So deciphering, discernment, and all of that is what she does, as she has been promoting for the last 11 episodes or 10 episodes that we've seen her. And I think when her wit is versus someone who may not be as astute and is more dependent upon how they feel about things versus the rationale of it all, they may feel as though they're, being singled out, i.e. Kyle. And like both said, she's not a follower. She doesn't need to go with the flow. She just sees it for what it is. Now Kyle is turning it around on Boz because Kyle says she feels that Boz is hard on her. Here we go. All because Kyle can't conceive the whole Boz's perception of things. Boz is not handling all of this through emotion. She's tactically diffusing the situation with truth, fact, knowledge. And that's just something Kyle can't grasp too much. She's on the emotional side of things. And usually when you're trying to fix things with emotion, it don't work. So Boz is coming at this a little bit with her business acumen, but at the same time, she's being perceived as someone who is taking the side of Dorit instead of hearing everyone's side. Sometimes you ain't got to hear everyone's side. And again, that's with her business acumen. Sometimes she didn't need to know what was going on over there, because the decision she's making is the decision that's being made. So here we go. Then Dorit chimes in, child, and says, well, Kyle, I don't even think we're, talking as much and settling things because of how Kyle accused Dorit of taking Boz's side on everything and agreeing with Boz in the moment. Dorit was like, I haven't agreed at one point during this conversation. What are you talking about? But Kyle has noticed, not just with this conversation, that Boz is up Dorit's ass, Dorit is up Boz's ass, and she says it very disgustingly, like she's jealous. Oh, I mean, it was real ugly. So then Kyle and Dorit kind of go at it, and they said, wait, let's revert back to what we discussed on the beach over at Garcelle's house, that we're going to move forward. Well, you can have an argument and still be moving forward. Anyway, so then Kyle links out of that argument with Boz and goes inside with Dorit. And then Kyle sees the mess and says, well, you can tell what's going on by, what's going on in the house. And she knows how that feels because she's making changes in her house too. And then they start talking about them both, cleaning out closets and making changes. And Kyle sees them, well, actually after Dorit sits down, Kyle sits down, and they're just trying to joke and laugh about it, but they're both in the same position. Dorit asks Kyle, do you see yourself getting divorced? And Kyle says, well, we can't continue like this. Yes, I do see us divorced, but Mauricio stops her in mid-sentence and says, it's just too soon. It's just too soon. Dorit believes PK is done. Child, listen, was this episode 12? Was that episode 3 when we saw PK pretty much yell out in a restaurant, I'm single PK, and how he been acting? Girl, bye. And then that was the end of that, right? Then production plays at the very tail end some articles in social media how Mauricio is spotted with a half-naked woman in the airport. Tongue kissing. Well, that was it, y'all. We gonna find out next episode, child. Oh, I'll tell you about these ninjas out here. Anywho, that was Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 14, episode 12. We'll catch you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Bye. All day. day.